How's it going, Scrub Gamers? It's your boy Scrub Games coming at you with a juicy new piece of content for you to enjoy. But before we do get into the topic of the video, I just want to let you know how you can help support the channel, and that is by checking out Firestorm Games using my affiliate link in the description box below. Because Firestorm Games offer a whole host of products for almost every kind of hobby there is, be it Dragon Ball Super, Pokemon, One Piece, you name it, and they'll likely have it, and at some quality prices too. So just make sure to click the link below and check them out to see the whole host of products they offer while helping support the channel. And also, remember, there's another way to help out the channel, and that's by dropping a like, leaving a comment on the video, and best of all, hitting that subscribe button to keep up to date with my content when it drops. Because I'm still on the road to 1k subs and looking to hit that by the year's end. But now we've got all that sorted, let's dive into the topic of the video. Right, so as the title of the video suggests, this is the next episode since I've come back of the previously in DBSCG, where we go to week's news, covering everything we've heard so far from Bandai regarding products and stuff. And we started from Friday with the Anniversary Box 2023 spoilers and reveals. And so far, we're starting off with the first color, red, and let's just get into having a look and see what we have. But remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Helps the video and channel out greatly, because we're trying to get to 1,000 subs before the end of the year, and every little helps. So let's start off by checking out some of them. Go straight into it. So first lot we saw was the Caller Mill support. So Caller Mill gets 3 different cards for it. We did get a multicolor, so it's not just red. It's like we got 1 multicolor card as well. So Caller Mill gets a new Z leader, which is fantastic, really nice. It also gets a Freezer battle card, and also gets a new Caller arrival card that also acts as a checkout, which we've seen. So for these 3 cards, so the first one we got the leader being Golden Caller Revenge in Final Form. This is the Z leader for Red Caller, because it only goes, the awakening conditions is you need to pay 2 Z energy, plus 1 blue energy, and 2 Z energy, 1 blue energy, and it goes on top of a red caller card. Now I've seen people go off with the whole thing of red caller card, that must be a mistake, that must be an error from Bandai, otherwise you can do unawakened, and so you can do 8 life, blah blah. No, people just need to read the rulebook and actually use a bit of common sense, a bit of knowledge, and know that you need to be awakened before you can Z. It's the whole point. You got a Z awaken, you got it's like a further form on top of the leader, so you need to awaken on your normal leader, and then go onto your Z leader. So the good thing is, once you get 4 less life and awaken with the Ghoul leader, then you can go into the Ghoul Z leader and have access to that. It's like we got with most Z leaders, it requires 1 energy to do as well, so you're not just doing it for free. There's only, I think, 5 in the game that do it for free, and they're all pretty snapped, and some of them are banned as well. But it not only does that, so that's what it does, and then it gets 2 autos. So then we've got the when your opponent's battle card's power is decreased by your opponent, just when your opponent's battle card's power is decreased, your opponent places a top card of the deck and it drops. So it still keeps on with the whole opponent's battle cards gets decreased. You got a mill card, and that's not once per turn. But the other one that is once per turn is the second auto, being when your opponent's card's power is decreased by your battle card skill. So it's got to be your battle cards that reduce the power of your opponent's cards. But it's only when your opponent's battle card's power is decreased, your opponent mills. But it's just when your opponent's cards, any of your opponent's cards, has its power decreased by one of your battle card skills, you draw a card. And then additionally, if it's your opponent's turn, you draw 1 card. So unlike normal, when it's just like with the normal leader, it's just drawing 1 if you do that each turn on your player's turn. Now it's in your opponent's turn, you draw 2. So if you minus like down playing something, and minusing one of your opponent's battle cards, or one of your opponent's cards with one of your battle card skills, you get to draw 2 cards. If your opponent's turn, 1 card on your turn. That's pretty good. That's a nice little upgrade. It's still only a 15k leader, so it's not too bad. Still, it's not gone down, it's not gone up, but still, it just drastically improves it by the looks of it, allowing you to get extra 2 card, natural 2 cards your opponent's turn as well. And it also comes with a new activate main as well, which is once per turn, requires 5 energy, being 2 red, 1 blue, and 2 others of any color. If your opponent has 20 or fewer cards in a deck, so consider your mill deck, get opponent down low enough, then yeah, that's easy enough to do really with this deck. That's the cost, and then the effect is to play up to 1 freezer card and up to 1 cooler card, both red, blue, multicolor, with an energy cost of 5 from your hand, then switch up to 2 of your energy to activate it into your turn. So that's pretty fantastic. You pay 5 energy to play out a cooler and a freezer, both multicolor and energy cost of 5 from your hand. Then untap 2 at the end of at the end of the turn. So you get that untap. You pay 3. Well, you technically pay 3 for that effect. But you pay 5, then you get 2 back at the end of the turn. Meaning that you still get those 2 energy back, but you don't get them back to the end of it. And there's some pretty good cards for that. I think the only freezer we've got really that works for that is the freezer 100% overdrive from set 9. The one that just what's on the board if your opponent's battle cards is negative. Your opponent mills 2 cards each time for each one. So it can give you a whole mill, and when it swings, you minus your opponent's entire board by 30k through barrier, which is really good. And then the cooler, you got a fair few coolers. You got the promo one that comes down and minus something by 25, I think it is. And you can add something back to your hand at the end of the turn and untap an energy. So you can technically get 3 energy back from that. So you technically only paying 2 if you've got promo cooler. You got the normal arrival cooler that we had in set 9. It's got like what 4 reprints, I think. Yeah, 4 prints. You got the normal one. You got no maybe 5. You got the normal SR, you got the SPR for set 9, you have the winners version, you have the alt art version, you have the reprint of the SR version in the thing. So 4 different arts, but then yeah, 5 prints of it, which is really good. So you can easily get that if you want to play this deck now. And that's a really strong year. So this is probably, we haven't seen anything this strong from an anniversary box. Well, we haven't seen anything this strong to give like this strong of support for an older deck in an anniversary box. It's the last one we had, the Vegeta support, which basically, but unlike that, that one brought Vegeta from being unplayable and pretty terrible to being actual top, like almost top tier playable, like a very strong deck, like able to compete and actually do well. And this does the same thing, but Cooler Mill hasn't been terrible like how Vegeta was. Cooler Mill has still been a good deck, like a niche deck, good such certain metas and formats depending on how it is. And this support just makes it a lot better. And yeah, it's just nice. It didn't need this support, but it is nice to have the support. And then we've got the other 2 cards. So the first one is the Freezer battle card, being Freezer True Form and Power, 4 cost 5k, 0 cost 5k combo. And this was a really nice one to help with the whole arrival shenanigans. Because we got the first auto, which is if you play this card, which is when this card is played, add up to 1 card from your left to your hand, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 5k power for the turn. So minimal minusing, but a minusing nonetheless. And also ways to take your life to help you get down to 4 life so you can awaken and go into Z leader. And you might be wondering how do you play this. You don't want to pay 4 for it. Well, you're not going to because you have to hit main is limit 1 for 1 red. And if you have 2 or more energy and you have a red, blue, multicolor Freezer Clan card in your energy, so that could be Cooler or Freezer, King Cold, any of the Freezer Clan that are red, blue, multicolor. As long as you want those in the energy and 2 or more energy, you pay 1 red. You can play this card from your hand. You can only do it once per turn because it's limit 1, but that's how you play it out to get that. So he's got actually use in being playable to help you take your life, a way to take life, and also got the second auto, which is one of the best things about it, which is if your leader is a red cooler card specifically for this deck, and that's the all is just the cost. It's just if you have a NIS leader and limit once, you can use one, only use this effect once per turn, no matter how many cards you use. When this card attacks or is using the combo from your hand, you may use 1 red, blue, multicolored card in your hand in the combo. If you do, draw a card. So that's great. You get the use, like if you've got a lot of multicolored cards there, like you can't, or you don't have energy to combo them. This is a way to allow you to combo them without needing to pay energy, which is really good. Which the deck kind of like didn't have too many ways to really have that, or too many great ways to have it. And sometimes it could be clogged up with too many multicolors. This is a nice way to be able to still use that and replace itself, because when you do, you're essentially going combo with this or attacking with this, combo with a multicolored hand, and then drawing a card. So you're replacing itself and allowing you to combo a multicolor without needing to pay the energy for it, because that's one of the issues. It's another very, very good card. Then we move on to the Caller card, being Caller Vengeful Final Form. This is 5 cost 25k, 0 cost 1 cost 10k combo, so this all matches up into the cost conditions for the Z Leader's active main skill. And it's got Deflect Dual Attack, Arrival red blue for 1 red 1 blue, so same kind of cost as the shield we got in the last anniversary box. And it's got a nice little permanent, which is a really good addition to the deck, which is if your leader is a red cooler card, negate this card's energy, it's all skill in all areas. That looks to be a straight up 4 of, because that's just instant check clan, just like what we got with previously with red BRS, being able to have a new check clan. That was an arrival for the whole red yes, stuff, just basically being a check land mainly for that deck, so that you can charge turn one rather than you like charge a multicolor, then charge a Endeavor card to then not ignore the energy exhaust. This one ignores the energy exhaust right off the bat, straight away. Turn one, you can charge this and have a multicolor untap for the first turn, which is really good. And it's playable and it's usable. It's usable in other ways, not just energy as well, because it actually got a way to arrival in, and also it actually does well with helping with the deck's game plan, which is milling. Because when this card is when this card is played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier. That's the great thing, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 20k power for the turn. And additionally, if your leader is a red caller card, which you may call as the leader, which you may be playing it in this deck anyway, this card gains double strike for the turn. That's really good. That's more blue-red rival targets or rival cards for any red-blue strategies. But this one gets extra benefit. Where if you're a Call Z leader, you get double strike for the turn. Because it's dual attack 25. That's 25k double strike dual attacker with deflect to stop it from being affected by coming in by counter plays and stuff. So that's really good. This is like excellent support. Really nice to see this off the bat. So a great start to this anniversary box, because the last anniversary box was really strong, and this one is just as strong. Just the problem with the last anniversary box is the whole premium version of it being a waste of money and a piece of shit. Really, like there's nothing really premium about it apart from a very low quality playmat. That was it. So let's go into the next deck and see what else got support. Because remember, we stayed on with red. We only had it for the last 3 days, so it's just stuck to red mostly. And even though this says Corner Mill support, I didn't update this. This is Red Jiren support. So Red Jiren being a Never deck that actually has some support, and it gets that support in only 2 cards, so not as many cards as what Cooler got, but it still got some cards nonetheless, and it got it in the form of a Z battle card in Jiren Righteous Pride Trooper, and in a battle card being Disposonic Dimension. So only one of these cards is Jiren, so only these cards really, in my mind, is actually relevant. But we'll see how we feel about that. So let's read into the card. So we'll start off the Z Battle card being Jiren vs. Pride Trooper. He's a free cost 19k, so 19k being kind of the same theme with some of the other Jiren cards that evolve in it, like mainly the new 4-drop we got that was a promo, and the 5-drop, or the only relevant 5-drop. So, and it also requires 1 Z energy, so quite cheap cost. And it's got a permanent, and the permanent is if your leader is a red Jiren card and you have a Topo, Force of Obliteration with 4 more markers, reduce the energy cost of this card in all areas by 2. So the first thing about this is you need to be playing the Topo Force of Obliteration. Now that's a little bit of a problem because with the Gogeta or SS4 Gogeta connection, or whatever it's called, Unison, the SS4 Gogeta Unison existing, that's a lot better of a unison for this deck than that one, because one, it's got a +2 marker skill that helps it keep markers on. It's a 2 cost, so it's not too expensive to come out, and it's also got a way to play out 1-drops, but also give like surviving a little bit more, being a 15k rather than I think it's a 6k or 4k, and then actually gaining a lot of markers itself as well, and just being something that can actually attack as well. So already you're playing the less like potentially the second best option for a unison, and you need to have 4 more markers on it, and you reduce it. But the good thing about this is it reduces the cost of this card in all areas by 2, so it's 1 cost to play out the deck, so 1 energy and 1 energy to play out the deck, and then while you've still got that unison with 4 markers, and then a 1 cost in your battle area to evolve on top of it with your Jiren cards. You might be thinking, why do you want to evolve on top of this for Jiren? It's already a 19k. Why do you want to evolve to any of the 5 or 4 drops with this when you could just go straight when like there's the 8-drop? Like you can't go straight onto the 8-drop into this because the 8-drop needs to go into a 4 or 5, which is sadly isn't, which makes sense why it's a 3 and why it goes down to a 1. And also gets a benefit of being under another Jiren, so evolving on top of this gives it a little bit of a usefulness in this activate battle. Or activate main slash battle, which is limit 1, and the cost is to remove this card from under a red Jiren card from the game. And so that's it. Just remove this card from under a red Jiren card from the game, and you choose up to one of your red Jiren battle cards, which is active mode, and then you choose up to one of your Topo Force of Obliteration, which is active mode, and then that card gains blocker for the turn, so the Topo gains blocker. And then additionally, if one of your unisons has 5 or more markers on it, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unison, and it gets minus 15k power for the turn. So this is a pretty good effect, mainly because you're removing it for free in it. You're not paying any energy or anything. You just remove it from it, and it's just either player's turn as well. So you can kind of protect one of your battle, your like 5 drop by making it restand if your opponent tries to attack into it, so it can't be attacked to again or at all that turn. And you're also restanding your unison and giving it blockers, so you can block yourself, get a bit of defense as well, which is really nice. And there is the 5-drop unison has that nice little niche of being able to remove cards from it or take life to protect itself from being removed by skills. So you could like this can be hard to remove or get rid of by having it under this, which is quite nice. But then you by taking it out from underneath that, you then have only one, potentially one or no cards left underneath the card to cut, so you have to start taking life to protect it. But then also, if you have a big enough unison, you also get the minus 15k or something, and even player's turn, that could be really nice to help deal with a battle card at unison. So that's really good. So if you're playing the Topo version of the deck, then this is a really good addition. This is a fantastic addition to the deck. But if you're not playing the Topo version, you can put this in, so you can then technically pay free energy to drop it out if you want to. But then it can't be evolved on top of. So this is only really useful if you have the this is only really useful if you have played Topo Force of Obliteration. But the better version using the Gogeta Unison is not going to be useful at all for it. So yeah, it's not amazing, but for the Topo one, it's amazing. For the other versions, it's terrible. It's not useful at all. And then we have Dispo Sonic Dimension. So straight off, I'm seeing this as a 1-drop, and it's not Jiren. Therefore, my instincts instantly is to disregard it because it's not a Jiren 1-drop, and you only really want the Jiren 1-drops really to, because they can actually be evolved on top of the Jiren cards. Dispo cannot evolve into a Jiren. So let's have a look into the rest of it before we actually pass proper judgment. So it's a 1-cost 4k with 0-cost 5k combo. It's got 2 skills. First one being auto, limit 1. When your red Jiren card with an evolve is played, draw 1 card, then choose it to one of your Topo Force of Obliteration and add 2 markers to it. So it's never a card that requires you to be playing that unison to, well, not require you to play the unison, but still gets a benefit playing unison because there's no requirement to play that unison but to get the draw 1. This is just a way to kind of give you like actually plus when you evolve for like once a turn by evolving, because when you normally when you evolve any of the Jirens, they replace themselves apart from the 8-drop. The rest of them, they generally replace themselves by drawing a card, and by drawing an extra card for this means you can actually get a bit of draw from the evolve, so plussing from it, which is quite nice. And then as well you can get 2 markers on your Topo to keep the markers up high. The only problem with this is the majority of times when you're going to be playing any 1-drops, you can either be playing them in rest mode off of, say, your leader skill or off of a unison skill or anything like that. You're playing bringing them out in rest mode so you can be attacked into. And at 4k, unless you want to put some heavy combo or use up some life taken against to defend it, it's going to be run over straight away and killed because your opponent doesn't want to leave you with this on board. And the only other way it's being brought out that's not in rest mode is normally by the 2-drop yellow Jiren promo, which brings out the skills negated, so then you're not going to have the skills active to do it, so you have to wait a turn anyway. So you've brought the card out, you have to wait a turn so you can actually get the benefit of it, which then isn't amazing. So there is that. And it also does have another skill, which is Activate Battle, which is once per turn. Use it to 1 battle card from under your red Jiren card in the combo with skills to give it turns. And that's really good. Like both the skills in this are quite nice, but the problem is you don't want to be paying energy to get this out and have it live. That's a waste. Like you can potentially do it turn 1. Potentially you could do it turn 1, but then it's not drawing you a card, you're just playing it out, not getting a benefit until next turn, because you still have to hope, or unless you get a draw, unless you use the leader's effect and play a 1-drop during rest mode, then evolve that turn to hope your opponent stays there and it survives, which can happen, to get the +1, but then you still paid energy for this, and it's got no protection from it as well. Like it's got no way to no barrier itself. You have to use other cards to give it barrier, which is a menu, meaning you're including other cards which aren't great just to protect this 1 card. It has got very good skills, but if it had barrier, that would have been a lot better. But there are cards to give it barrier and give it that protection, but then you're incorporating those hover cards, like putting other not great cards in your deck just to give like some protection to this okay card. Overall, I reckon this is not bad. This is great support if you play the Topo Unison. It's really good support for those. Like yeah, it's really good support for that. Like the Jiren is definitely if you play like if you're playing the Topo version, the Jiren is a staple. You play 4 of those in the deck just because they're a 1-drop Jiren you can play out from your deck just to have for 1 energy. Pay out a 90k attacker to attack with and then be able to evolve over it into things. And the nice thing about it is that you can potentially give your 5-drop as dual attack 3 swings by because it's normally got dual attacks, so swinging twice with that, and then restand it with this to then attack again, even switch your units and attack. So if it has got that extra boost, you can make it a 10k for the turn. You've got another attack with that as well, because yeah, it's even limit 1, but then you can use it offensively, or even under your 8-drop Jiren, drop that down, swing with that, use its effect to restand itself and give your leader 5k boost, swing that, and then restand it again because it doesn't say what the cost of Jiren, just says one of your red Jiren battle cards, which is active mode. So you can restand your 8-drop and get that 3 swings, which is very powerful. So that like gives a good meaning. It gives a this is a good like kind of incentive to play the Topo Unison. Just the Topo Unison is not as great as the Gogeta Unison, but I did use to play it before, and it is very good, especially when you can get the -7 off to make your opponent take a life by -7ing as well to reduce, because then yeah, that could be quite handy, just reducing their life so you can keep putting more pressure on and have less life you need to deal with. So with Top Unison, these are great, and the Dispo you can technically run it in the no Unison build because you don't need a Unison for this. And in that build, you can replace the Unisons with a few copies of this and a few copies of either the yellow or red. I can't remember which. I think it's Kunchi that can give the rest. Either give it all your like. I think this yellow one that can give all your 2-drop or less Universe 11 cards barrier, including itself. And then there's the red one, which gives all your ever ones barrier. So you can incorporate the yellow to give like an extra kind of like a red yellow little bit of a tech in there using all might resistance stuff like that. I love that kind of thing. And to give it barrier and keep this around, so when you start evolving, you're then drawing more cards. That's what I think I'm gonna have a look into. I will probably have a look into it and get some deck lists because I feel that there's still I've still got my normal list with SS4 Gogeta Unison. Then with this new support with using Topper Unison, it's more incentive to play that. And then there's also the Dispo can make potentially the Unison less version just as strong as the other two, or almost like a good option. Well, at least a try. So I'm gonna be looking into that. So good support if you play Topo. If you play Skilda, Dispo non-Unison, some good support in Dispo. If you play the Gogeta Unison version, you can just disregard these. They're not useful for that version of it. So that is that for support. I've rambled on for a bit for that one because I am a big fan of the Red Jiren deck. It's one of my favourite decks, one I've done quite well with. Now I'll look to see what other decks get support as well for red because we've got 2 more to go. So the next one we've got is the U7 Gohan deck. So if you remember back in, yeah, I think it was the same set as Red Jiren, you got the U7 Gohan deck that revolved around skillless cards because what's better to describe any U7 deck than skillless? You've got like Velcro ones, both versions. You've got the itself. You've got the one the U7 Goku. Most U7 decks are quite skillless, quite as people say, smooth brain decks. They don't require much for. They're quite like built to be play themselves really, and just have someone sit there with a helmet on, enjoying them. And the U7 deck gets 3 new cards. It gets a big, pretty cool Goku boss card, and it gets an Android 17 and 18 card to help with it. So we go start off with the first one, the Goku. So Goku Unmatched by the Gods is 8 cost, 30k with 0 cost making combo. So it's nice to see they're continue with the whole thing of boss cards are no longer going to be a problem in your hand if you have too many. So there's no drawback really to having boss cards now. You can just chuck in 4 and not worry if they're in your hand because you can at least still combo them. Unlike the olden days when these had a 1 cost 10k combo. So if you did incorporate too many boss cards, you can get screwed from having your hand be brick. Not today though. And it's got double strike and dual attack, so 2 pretty nice keyword skills together. Permanent, where you and your opponent can't play battle cards with 25k power or more from their owners' hands. So that's quite cool. You lock both you and yourself, you and your opponent from being able to drop any big battle cards. 25k is still, I know 25k power and more, so it has to be 24k and less to play out. So it stops a fair few boss cards from being able to be played. But with no protection, like barrier, it can still get removed, or it's still got a way to be removed without worrying about that. But then you've then got to start to think about what cards nowadays that are, well, use unison stuff, which you start not play that much. You've got to think of things that aren't battle cards with high power that can remove this, or yeah, just remove it from the board, which I can't remember what to think about now, but probably is a fair few. But yeah, that's a quite nice little condition to put on buff your opponent, like decks are at or like cards are at, which put stop like kind of hinder by allowing you to play certain things. Like we have Hatchak being a good one, good example. But it also got two other skills, being the first one, an auto, which is when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and he gets minus 30k power for the turn. Then place this card in your drop at the end of your opponent's turn. Okay, so it doesn't stick around for more than one turn. So you can come down and put that condition on your opponent, stop him from playing any big cards. But it gets placed in the drop at the end of your opponent's next turn. So you get your turn with it, your opponent's turn with it, then it's gone. And the minus 30k doesn't even go for barriers, so like that's quite like it might as well go for barrier for a big card. Like that would still be fair enough because it should go for barrier for something big like this. And it is a card you've got to wait until like a later turn to actually drop. And I think that I can't remember if the like format's quite fast or not, but yeah, you have to wait a bit for this because the activate battle skills limit 1 for 2 red. If your leader is a red Universe red Universe 7 Sun Gohan Adolescence card, you have 4 more energy and you have a skillless battle card in your combo area. Play this card from your hand. So it was only you only play it for cheap unless you want to pay 8 energy in the Sun Gohan Adolescence Universe 7 red deck, which is just stat 1 we've got. You need to have 4 more energy, so you have to be at turn 4 at the latest. So it's just you only have 4 more energy, not your opponent. And you have to combo skillless, which is very easy enough to do in that deck. And you drop it out. So you can drop this in your opponent's turn, because it's activate battle, you can do that. But then it goes at the end of your opponent's turn. Because it doesn't say the end of your opponent's next turn, just at your opponent's turn. So you drop it in their turn, end of turn, it's gone. So you want to drop it in on your turn, so that way you can get the full use of it, the double strike dual attack, and then have it hinder your opponent while it's there. So that's the Goku, pretty decent. Because I know I did see someone say about dropping the what was it, the victory strike, the OG victory strike on it, but then you can't because the permanent locks you out of playing things like that as well. Bandai think of things, which is that's pretty rare. So now we have Android 17 and 18. They are both free costs with 10k power and 0 cost 5k. Well, Android 17 is 0 cost 5k combo. Android 18 is 0 cost 1k power combo power. So that's quite interesting. And they have different effects. So we go with Android 18, got 3 autos, first 2 being limit 1. So the first one being, if your leader is a red Universe 7 Sun Gohan Adolescence card as the cost. When it's got a unit combo, use up to 1 red skillless card from your drop in the combo. So combo when this goes from your drop, there you go. That gives you 6k combo when you combo this from your, when this card uses combo from anywhere. Doesn't have to be from your hand, just when this card is using the combo. But it's limit 1, so you can use once a turn. The other one, auto limit 1 for 1 red. At the end of a battle, which this card in your hand is using the combo, play this card from your hand. So if you combo this from your hand, you can then at the end of battle pay 1 red energy to play this card from your drop. They're not sure what that's going to really do, but we'll see because it's got a second auto, and this one's not limit 1 or once per turn, and it is when this card is played, add up to 1 red skillless battle card from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. So that's what you can do. So you can combo this from your hand, and then combo a red skillless from your drop, and in the turn pay 1, or at the end of the battle, pay 1 red to play this card from your drop, and then when you play it, add a red skillless card from your deck to your hand, so you kind of plus for 1. So you can then combo this from your board afterwards, in your opponent's turn or whatever, to get the effect off again, or at least the first auto as well. So it's not too bad. I don't know if that's a great or not with the deck, so I've not played the deck, because it never looked interesting. And then we have the Android 17. This one has deflect, so he's got 1 keyword being deflect. And then also where if your leader is a red Universe 7 Sun Gohan Adolescence card, and you discard 1 card from your hand, so that's the cost. Having that specific leader and discarding a card. When this card is played, add up to 1 red skillless battle card from your deck to your hand. Shuffle your deck, then play up to 1 Frieza Unlikely Savior with a 1 marker on it from your drop. Okay, so when you play it, you basically get to add a skillless battle card from your deck to your hand, and then you get to play the Frieza Unison from your drop with a marker on it. And funny thing is, you can always, you don't have to worry about having a Unison in your drop. You can always discard the Unison as the card you discard for the cost of the effect, and then play that Unison onto the board. So you've got that kind of nice little way to cheat out the Unison without worrying about having to pay energy for do it, because you've got to pay 2 for this, because we've got the activate main on it. Be limit 1 for 2 red. If you have a red skillless battle card and use the energy, easy enough to do that. Combo Z charge. you play this card from your hand, place up to one skillless battle card from your deck in your drop, and shuffle your deck. So you put that skillless in your drop, ready to when your unison does its little marker skill, like uptick or whatever it is, to combo with a skillless from drop. You've got that skillless ready there. So that is the support. I don't know if that's amazing for Gohan, but most of the time any support is good support. So I imagine this is good. Not sure how much it beats up the decks we saw from the two before. Caller gives it a pretty good boost to the Caller deck, and Jiren gives two of its three variants like a decent boost to two of them, and nothing to the third one. So, and this I don't know where it goes to, but it looks pretty decent. Looks interesting. The Goku looks pretty cool, but then it's not as scary as you keep reading. As you start reading it, it looks scary, but as you get to the end, it's not too bad. So that is that, and we get to the last card of the reveals, and that is the Pan support. So there was one card shown today because there's 4 cards revealed. So we had 3 cards on the Friday, 2 cards for the Jiren on the yesterday, and then we had 4 cards today, being the 3 U7 Gohan and 1 for Pan. So Pan Reboot get a bit more support. It seems to get a lot of support because people seem to love this deck, even though it's not amazing. It's just a standard beatdown red deck, but it gets a nice little bit of support. We got Pan, Grandfather Strength. It's a free cost 15k with a 0 cost 5k combo. So a nice little auto, which is limit 1. When this card's power is increased by one of your skills, well, when your card's power is increased by one of your skills, that's any of your cards, is increased by one of your skills. You draw a card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 20k power for the turn. So that's quite cool. Any one of your cards, be your leader, be a battle card, be your unison, any of your cards have its power increased by one of your skills, draw a card and minus it by 20k. This is good for Barry, but then for how cheap this can come down, that makes sense. And you got the activate main is how you play out for cheap, being for 1 red. If your leader is red, and you or your opponent has a battle card in play with 15k power or more, then you get to play this card from your hand. So if either you or your opponent have a battle card with 15k or more power, then you get to play this card from your hand. So that's really good. And especially since that trigger, this at least when it comes down, it's going to trigger your leader. If you're playing the Pan deck, either of the Pan leaders probably playing the Reboot one more. You play this down, get a boost to this, then that trigger the auto, giving you a draw, minus about 20k, and then anytime after that, if you still have this on board, you play out something else to get a boost, even your opponent's turn or your turn, get a trigger there. So this is pretty nice support for it, because it's your new player's turn. It's not just your turn for the auto, it's your new player's turn. So you can do the whole thing of comboing with that Golden Ape Goku card, then plays itself, get a boost from your leader, then draw and that, and then have this trigger to draw minus during your opponent's turn. That's pretty good support. That's a pretty nice one. And that is basically it for the anniversary box. We've only been getting the reveals since Friday, so we've got that. So we'll get another lot next week, and I think we still got a bit more red. We've at least got one one card because we had the Z leader and then the Z battle card, and then we had a card between that and the Goku being number 5. So we've still got number 4 or 5. No, one of them's 4. Can't remember which one it is. But we're still missing a card, some cards from red, or at least 1 or 2 cards from red. So red's not over, so we might see the rest of red tomorrow, or maybe move on to a different color if they want to keep some other cards to the end if they're more generic. But we'll be getting more cards, and it'd be interesting to see what decks get support, because there are a fair few decks that support will be greatly appreciated, but then Bandai doesn't always look at that and give support. Sometimes they just go ahead and go, Wish Chila, I need support, let's give it that, instead of green decks actually need support, stuff like that. So be interesting to see. I'm personally hoping for some yellow Bojack support primarily. I would like to see if King Cole got support, that would be nice. But I'm more looking to see yellow Bojack support and stuff, or even blue Bojack support as well. Maybe get a new unison, something a bit better than the Gotenks. Even Gotenks is decent. We all think better because we do miss the Boo. And can't remember if a deck's even yellow Jiren maybe get a bit of support, things like that. So looking forward to that. That is it for today. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe once again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.